please don't kill your baby. So my mom, like many moms, got pregnant very young. She was an unwed teen, about 17 years old, when she found out that she was expecting me. She was raised in a very religious home, and so she knew she would be in some big trouble once her family found out that she was going to have a baby. My dad was kind of a playboy. He had lots of girlfriends at the time. And so my mom knew who the father was because she wasn't dating anybody else and she had never been with anybody else. So she knew for a fact that if she was going to have a baby, she knew whose baby it was. My dad, on the other hand, had a lot of girlfriends, and for him, from where he stands, it could be anybody's baby. But from my mom's standpoint, there's no way it could have been anybody's baby but his. So anyway, my mom was told and provided the money to have an abortion. She was told, look, just go and deal with this. You can end this, you can terminate this pregnancy, and no one has to know, and you can go on about your life. And so you have to imagine how hard this has to be for someone so young to have to contemplate the heaviness of such a decision. So even as I'm talking, I don't want anyone who may have been there to feel any condemnation whatsoever. This isn't about condemning anybody for any decisions that you may have made. This is more of an encouragement of the value of human life. So my mom decided, okay, I'll have this abortion. So she went to the clinic and she was determined to kill me. I use the word kill because that's exactly what it is. She was going to terminate the pregnancy, thereby ending my life before I had a chance to take my first breath. Now, I am African American. I'm a little light-skinned because I have some other mixture in there as well. I have Hispanic blood from my dad's side, African American blood from my mom's side, and there's some other things mixed in there as well. But my mom grew up in an African American household, and so she was in a African American part of town, and so she went to have an abortion in that part of town where she lived. And when she was there, the story goes, she's telling me the story, she relays the story to me. I mean, I was there, but I was inside, so I don't even know what was happening consciously outside of her womb, because that's where I was, in her womb. But this is the story that I am told. She was going to have an abortion at this clinic, and the doctor wasn't there yet, but the receptionist had her to wait. And so as she was waiting, a man basically appeared almost out of nowhere before her. And this man says to her, if you kill the child that you are carrying now, today you too will die. If you kill the child that you are carrying now, today you too will die. He vanishes, almost as if he were never there at all. My mom runs to the receptionist. She says, have you seen this man? He was wearing white. He was this tall and he looked like this. And the lady began to laugh at my mom because she says, first of all, everyone in here is black, and I don't know what you saw, because the man my mom described was not African American. He had a different ethnicity than her own. And the lady was shocked because she's like, no one else came in here of any other race. If they were, I would have seen them anyway. I don't know who that man was. I don't know if that was an angel, if it was the Lord himself in a different form. I don't even know. All I know, if it wasn't for that encounter that my mom had, I wouldn't be here today. This experience shook my mom to her core, and she ran out of there and decided to not have the abortion. And here I am today. Now, I've known of this story from childhood. My mom told it to me very often. And she said, you are blessed to be here. You are fortunate to be here. You were not an accident. You were a surprise. But if you're here, you're supposed to be here. She made sure I understood that. If you're here, you're supposed to be here. Even though the circumstances were not necessarily ideal, I've always had a profound sense of awareness, of gratefulness that I made it. So profound was this awareness that even when I was in elementary school, I remember sitting in third, fourth, and fifth grade in particular, looking at the empty seats in the classroom, because sometimes, a classroom may have 25 or 30 students, but there's usually an empty desk or two if the class is not full. And I remember in fifth grade, about 10 years old, looking at an empty desk that was next to me, and I stared at this desk intently. And my teacher noticed me staring at it, and he's like, "Billy, are you okay? Why are you staring at the desk?" And I simply said, "I wonder who's supposed to be sitting there and didn't make it." I had a profound awareness that there are others who should have had my birthday, either birth date or birthday year, but were not fortunate enough because the circumstances of their life didn't allow them to have their first birthday. And so I made a promise to God when I was young that I would live for him and that I would serve him, since he granted me the ability to come into this earth when others were not able to do so. I want to encourage you that no matter the circumstances of your birth, whether you knew your mom and dad and you were raised in a wonderful family, or maybe you did not know your mom or dad, your life counts. It has purpose. And if there's someone listening to me right now and you've had an abortion, you've killed your baby, I want you to know God's forgiveness is available to you. Just reach up to him and he'll grant you forgiveness. God has not lost any one of those babies. They are with him. They're still his children, and they're still your children. If you've had a miscarriage, God still has that baby. That baby is with him. That baby is still yours. The Bible tells of Job how he had 10 children, and all 10 of them were killed horribly. And at the end of Job's life, it says God gave him twice as much as he lost. Everything was given to him in double. And yet at the end of Job's life, he only had 10 children. And I remember reading that story and I'm thinking, well, God, if you gave Job double of everything, how is it that he lost 10, but then in the end you gave him only 10 if you gave him double? And the Lord reminded me, I never lost the first 10. Even though they were killed, they're still with me. And so Job still had 20 children total. So he still had double of everything that he had from the beginning. Let that be of comfort to someone. You've lost a child by murder, by abortion, by miscarriage, by premature death. God still has that baby in the palm of his hands. And that baby is in the presence of the Father right now. But if you are contemplating an abortion, or someone in your family is contemplating, what do I do with this child? I want to say to you, please, do not kill that baby. God has a purpose, and God has a plan for that child's life. Please, do not hurt that baby. Give him the chance that was given to you. Let him live. Let her live. The enemy loves to come after babies because they're vulnerable. In the days of Moses, there went out a decree from Pharaoh that all babies should be killed. And Moses' family hid him till he could no longer be hidden, because his destiny was to deliver his people. In the time of Christ, there went out a decree that all the babies should be killed. And he was hidden in Egypt. I love it. He was hidden in Egypt. For the first 2 years of Christ's life, he was raised in Africa. He ate the food of Africa. He heard the language of Africa. He wore the garments of Africa. Even though he was from Israel, he grew up for the first 2 years of his life in Africa. That's another story for me, because I just have a heart and a passion for Africa. But I want you to know that God has a purpose for that baby. Even today, there is going out a decree that babies should be killed. And we say in the name of it's just a fetus, or it's just a part of the woman's anatomy of her body. We have all different kinds of semantical things that we say to appease our mind and our conscience, to make us think it's not a baby, it's a fetus. Those are semantics. It's a baby. It's just a part of the woman's body. To some extent, you're right. But it's a part of your body that's not yours. It's a part of your body that has its own body. And it has a right to live. Let the baby live. Don't kill the baby. The baby has a destiny. And you have a destiny. Praying for God's blessings upon you as you make these decisions in life. God's mercy is available. Again, if you have already had an abortion, God's mercy is there and his forgiveness is there. Just reach out and say, Lord, I'm sorry. He'll forgive you. He will forgive you. But if you're contemplating one, I'm telling you now, do not kill that baby. Let him live. God bless you.